The air trembles with anticipation. The pale August light of 1717 glows over the plains beyond Belgrade. Captain Elias Vogel grips the bronze howitzer, hands steady, heart calm. Behind him, the Imperial battery waits in golden haze, silent, tense. No one speaks. The silence is thick with dread. Commander Yusuf Kaya stands rigid on the ramparts, morning chill biting his skin. His gaze fixes on distant Imperial earthworks. A junior archer watches the trees. Wool cloaks stir in the river breeze. Behind them, the wounded cry out, but they press on, eyes fixed on the crumbling ramparts. As the first volleys crack through the air, Lieutenant Marcus Thorne marches forward, breastplate gleaming. 2 grenadiers flank him. Dark blue columns advance, as one toward. He whispers, "For the Empire," and the barrel roars. Within the Ottoman bastion, Artillery Chief Silim Vural grips his cannon's carriage, eyes locked on the advancing bluecoats. His crew steadies against stone. He whispers. He grits his teeth, sweat dripping into his eyes, but he doesn't stop. By mid-morning, sap trenches creep toward the fortress walls. Captain Leo Vance kneels, gripping an iron lever, reinforcing timber supports as dust rains down pain. The air is thick with tension and the scent of oiled steel. At the same hour, behind the outer gates, Commander Arif Demir stands beside his armored steed, shoulders squared. Sipahi units gather in silence, bracing in their saddles. The air hums with tension. He says nothing. His silence speaks louder than orders. As dusk settles, General Prince Eugene stands at his oak table, hands resting on a brass compass. Aides adjust the tent as chalk lines map the advancing assault. He says nothing. His silence holds the weight. The silence is thick, broken only by the distant howl of wolves and the creak of rusted armor. Under night's veil, Captain Hallam Yilmaz stands steady on the warm wall, iron breastplate glinting faintly from distant fires. His men grip the stone. The air smells of wet stone, gunpowder, and dread. In midnight's black heart, beneath the mine's suffocating depths, Captain Felix Weber kneels, lever in hand, as miners carry powder kegs through damp stone. The tunnel creeps toward the fortress. The silence is thick, heavy, waiting. At dawn, Commander Emre Kokak stands firm on the ruined ramparts, eyes fixed on the dark tunnel. A young guard clutches a heavy halberd. Elite troops press close, stone shards beneath their boots. He sees the enemy's last stand. His voice echoes, "For the Emperor, for the Empire." Along the broken ladders, Grenadier Captain Thomas Richter marches, steady, breastplate gleaming. Behind him, Grenadiers advance as one toward the crumbling keep. The enemy makes their fight. The air hums with anticipation. Within the shadowed courtyard, Commander Arif Demir stands beside his armored horse, silent and steady. The stable's master releases the gates. Sipahi units gather, chainmail glinting in the sun. The air thrums with battle cries and the clang of steel. In the afternoon heat, Captain Elias Vogel strides through shattered Ottoman walls, breastplate gleaming. His dragoons advance with sabers raised, reserve columns closing in on the crumbling citadel. He knows the enemy is near. He will not yield. As dusk settles, Pasha Ibrahim Vural stands firm by the iron brazier, wool cloak shielding him from the chill. Officers trace chalk lines on the stone floor, final defense ready. He knows the enemy approaches. The air smells of burnt powder and damp earth. The moon glows cold above them. The silence is heavy. The enemy is close. They wait. Under night's shadow, Captain Leo Vance kneels by a massive bronze howitzer, ramrod in hand. Gunners brace against earth. Silence hangs thick. No wind stirs. Only the faintest echo of distant drums lingers. At midnight, atop the stone ramparts, Commander Selim Vorol stands stiff in the chill, gaze fixed on distant earthworks. Junior Guard. By dawn, Assault Guard Captain Marcus Thorne marches forward across the shattered gates of the Ottoman citadel. His polished breastplate reflects the harsh daylight while supporting guards advance with heavy muskets. The assault columns move as one toward the crumbling inner courtyard. Inside the Ottoman citadel throne room, Commander Yusuf Kaya stands firm beside a heavy iron table. His broad shoulders remain squared as supporting officers scan chalk lines across the stone floor. The command staff moves in quiet coordination, authorizing the final surrender. He does not smile. He does not cheer. His eyes remain fixed ahead, scanning the ruins for the enemy commander. In midday heat, Captain Elias Vogel marches through the sun-scorched courtyard, breastplate glinting, soldiers behind him weary but steady. Victory towers. They're silent, proud, and weary. The war is over. The war is over. As dusk falls on the plains, chronicler Captain Felix Weber stands firm by the Danube, cloak drawn against the chill. Scribes record the final victory.